I just watched him and it's not good. It is bad. It never finds the right tone, it never sets the right tone. I never got into it. It's a movie about the dark side of football. The thing about the dark side of football, as someone who's not a football stan, very cursory knowledge, I grew up with brothers who watch football. The thing that makes playing the game and wanting to be a football star, wanting to play football and wanting to make it to the big leagues, what makes it so seductive is that there's an entire culture built around football. And that is the major issue with this movie, is that it's not set in any culture. I watched it and I didn't see anything about football culture or the culture that props up football or maintains it or like continues driving it forward or makes it so seductive. And to be honest, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, and by the way, at the very beginning, they absolutely did try to make it seem like it's a Jordan Peele movie. It's not. Like, I went into it knowing that, but the first time I watched a trailer about this movie, way back, they said something misleading like new from Jordan Peele or the latest from Jordan Peele. He didn't direct it, he didn't write it. He's a producer on it, and it's produced through his production company, Monkey Paw Productions. But when I first saw the trailer, and I was excited, like, oh my God, like a horror movie, a thriller, whatever, that's going to use football and the culture surrounding it, is going to explore that. Yes, but also, why is your lead so light? That was a red flag for me. We're going to talk about the culture of football and the dark side of it and the danger of it. You cast Marlon Wayans, okay, great, but your lead is this super, super, like, this, like, ode to Patrick Mahomes. I'll get more into why that was a red flag. I mean, if you know, you know. But I'll get more into why that was a red flag when I do my detailed review. I'll also talk about the culture aspect, the cultural notes, the cultural markers that were missing from this movie. I'll do a deep dive about that in my detailed review, because if I name the cultural stuff that were missing, I will spoil the movie. Not the plot, but I will spoil the movie for the people who haven't seen it. The soundtrack was obnoxious and overbearing. There were way too many montages. It didn't say anything smart. If you ask me what he had to say about the dark side of football, I would say it's that it's a violent sport. It's a violent sport, and the people who play it are willing to sacrifice their body for it. Nothing more. And it name drops some of the things that we're familiar with, like, God, family, football, but it had nothing interesting to say about that. And then at the very end, it gets very gory out of desperation, I'll say. The story wasn't interesting. The main character was not interesting. It was just so cheap and shallow, and just, I feel like some of the scary, and honestly, it was not scary. I feel like some of the things that were supposed to be creepy were dropped into the movie, not because they had a place, but just to be creepy. Just like, I've seen a horror movie before. A pig mask is always like creepy, so let's put that in there. Let's put a couple of those in there. I'll say this. After I walked out of the theater, I looked up the director. Like, I heard the name Justin Tipping, like that's who directs it, and he's one of the writers, but I didn't know anything about him. He is Filipino American. He's one of the writers as well, and the other two writers are white. And I don't know if these people were not the right people to talk about the dark side of football. As a black woman, we talk about the dark side of football. I have a few things in mind. I don't think a Filipino American and two white dudes were the right people to discuss it. Although those identities, like, there is stuff for them to say, maybe about the toxic masculinity, the toxic culture, but you didn't hear me mention any of that. But they were the ones with the idea, so if you've seen him, let me know what you think. That's all I'll say for now. I'll be back to go more in depth into it.